Welcome back. Last video we did a review on what actually gender dysphoria is, and we started to talk about Munchausen's by proxy. Those were the parents who are abusing their children to have a mental illness. Again, gender dysphoria, your body is perfectly okay. It's a mental illness, and if you could save somebody from a mental illness, wouldn't you do it? Yes. It's not who they are. These people are not their disease. I am not my PTSD. My PTSD is not what defines my personality. Okay? It interferes with my personality. It doesn't help my personality. It interferes with it. It causes me problems with interpersonal relationships. It causes me problems with properly reading people's emotions and everything and interpreting them. Okay? Illnesses interfere with your life. It doesn't matter whether it's a physical one or a mental one. These are things that interfere with your life. And if you can eradicate those things, then that's what you should be doing. And promoting them is the absolute opposite, okay? That is intentionally inflicting harm on another person, okay? And that's a crime. All right, so the next one we should talk about, there's so many. Why don't we go to the teachers? I touched on Munchausen's a little, and that's the people who are doing it for themselves. But let's talk about the teachers, because this is another group of individuals who are doing it for two kids. Okay, so we'll stay on that track. When you have a teacher, this can be seen by some as, oh, this is Munchausen's by proxy. But it can also be seen as pedophilia. All right. So Munchausen's by proxy is when you're intentionally inflicting harm on a child in order to get attention. Now, a lot of these teachers like to get the attention. I'm here for the kids so they can be free on their gender. Okay. Okay. So you're directly and intentionally there to talk to children about sex. Okay, without their parents' permission. All right. Any individual who is fixated on wanting to talk to children, okay, about sex without their parents' knowledge, okay, that's a pedophile. Okay, they are grooming them for pedophilia. Okay, they're grooming them to be confused about sex so that they can have whatever deviant type way with them or groom them into deviancy with others. Okay, any kind of teacher who is doing sexual type stuff with children is a pedophile. Okay, and you can call them groomers or whatever you want to call them as far as that, but it all falls under pedophilia. Okay, and that's what they're doing, whether they're doing it for themselves for sexual gratification or they're grooming them to do it for something else. Now, again, it could be a mix. I'm getting all the attention on YouTube because I'm grooming these kids. It's a little bit of both in that point. But both of them are crimes. You know, it doesn't matter why you're doing it at that point. If you're abusing a child on purpose, that's a crime. And giving someone an illness, I don't care whether you are giving them a mental illness or you're poisoning them with rat poison, okay? You are intentionally causing harm to that child, okay? The pedophiles have jumped on this whole thing because they want to normalize and bring rationale to, oh, I'm just mixed up. I have a mental disorder and you should accept me for my mental disorder and you should support my mental disorder. Okay? To the point of, and this falls into a lot of other areas where, oh, you have to let me have sex with your child or you're a hater or a whatever. And it's like, that is disgusting. And a lot of people have tried pushing that whole thing. Well, you have to do this or you're bad. And that's one of those common type dynamics where people are pushing things like racism and slavery because it's all based on the popularity thing of I'm better and I'm making you look like the bad guy. So if you want to be good, you got to follow my rules. You follow my rules. The more people follow my rules, I'm more popular, and the more I can ostracize all the people who are not. And that's what they're doing. So when teachers are doing this, yes, it can be pedophilia. Um, I've seen so many different things about teachers and doing this, and I did a different video on the First and Second Amendment because those play key into about 100 years worth of Supreme Court rulings on parental rights having rights over what happens in the school. Okay, and I had somebody attack me about, oh, you're just afraid of your kid learning something new about sex. And it's like, no, I decide when my kid learns about sex, and I teach them myself because that's a controversial thing. And I brought up the fact that just recently, okay, I live actually probably in one of the better school districts as far as this goes. I got an email asking me, as a reward for the students, they were going to show a movie for the kids, and they were going to show Harry Potter. I think it was episode 9 or something. And they wanted permission. Now, you need unanimous consent from all parents. Schools need permission slips to go on field trips. They need permission to have something that is irregular or even possibly controversial. Now, there have been some people who kind of put up a stink against magic and it's against their religion. So they wanted to do this thing. Now, the kids are in 4th grade. I get this email and I'm like, okay, I don't care. But then I find out, nope, they didn't watch that movie. And the reason they didn't watch it was because one parent said no. That's it. That's all it took. And that's all it should take. Because if I really want my kid to watch Harry Potter, I can put the damn movie on at home. Okay? I can. But they should not be doing something that has potentially damaging effect on the morals of that family. Okay? It's not about sitting there like, oh, you're afraid of your kid. You know what? I'm afraid of my child being exposed to pedophiles like you. That's what I'm afraid of, which is why I have a constitutional right on the Second Amendment to make sure that I'm able to fulfill my responsibility of protecting my family. And I have a First Amendment right to go out and not just speak my mind, but to learn and read to fulfill my responsibility to raise my child and teach them. You're simply here to help me so that I can go out and help the economy and help build all that stuff, okay? And you work together with a whole bunch of other parents, but you have to have unanimous consent of those parents, okay? So teachers sitting there and giving, pulling off this, oh, well, why should parents decide this stuff? Because they're our kids, not yours. At the end of when they turn 30, if they're millennials and they turn 30, whose basement are they going to come live in? Are they going to come to you, Miss 2nd grade teacher? No, they're not. Maybe we should start doing that. Well, you decided you were responsible, so now guess what? They get to come live in your basement. That's not going to happen. Where are they going? They're going to mom and dad because they are responsible. And we need to start holding parents responsible for not doing these things. When you have, not all millennials are bad, and there's just a big group of them. It's like sitting there and saying not all, like, 2,000 kids were emo. There were a lot of them, and they were kind of known for it, but not all of them were like that. But you need to hold these parents responsible. The Karens of today were the soccer moms of participation awards the decade before. And they need to be held responsible. I never learned how to do a checkbook. Well, that's mom and dad's job. I didn't learn taxes. Well, that's mom and dad's job. Stop yelling at the school. They were just the helpers. Okay? Teachers trying to force sex issues on children is not good. They don't need to be doing this. So, again, we have the pedophiles trying to come in. And they are going to try to weasel their way into the schools. They're going to try to do it behind people's backs Because how do pedophiles work? Oh, the parents can't know. It can be our little secret. That's guaranteed pedophile talk, okay? It's just our little secret. It's just our little thing. You don't have to talk to mommy and daddy about it, okay? That's dead giveaway that it's a pedophile, okay? Anytime you're trying to do anything with a kid without the parent's permission or without the parent's knowledge, yeah, that automatically falls under suspect of pedophilia. Okay, so uh, that'll be our second bit. Stay tuned. We're going to do another one after this.